order for let's spill the tea. Aw, huh?
I forget how to change the color.
There's like on the control side. So like where the knobs are.
Ah. I found it.
Why do we always like start our episodes off in the most chaotic ways? Like just dumbass shit. We never just say hi.
It's okay. It's still light outside.
I know. I don't like it. Is Paul still outside or is he in bed?
Oh, he's still outside.
Oh. He's gonna interrupt story time.
It's fine. Excuse me. I did not mean to do that. Wow. That was crazy.
Anyway, how I use?
I'm okay. I'm gonna be old soon.
I know it's Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So, because of how like thrown off we were with our last recordings, we couldn't like wish you a happy birthday in that episode. I can't even like tie it in because I've already like uploaded it.
It's okay.
So yeah. Well, how was your vacation?
It was good. I did a lot.
Yay. I'm glad.
I saw my brother.
Yay.
Woo.
Woohoo. All right. You drinking tea? What's your tea? Hit me with it.
Green chai vert.
A what?
Green chai vert.
I've
Like
never had
V-E-R-T.
Yeah, I've never
I
had
don't really know what it means.
I was
but
gonna say
I just
I've
drink
never
it anyway.
heard of green chai.
Yeah, I don't know what it means, but
then again, in chai just means tea.
Yeah.
So
But I don't know what vert is.
green. It also means green.
Well, vert, V-E-R-T.
Yeah, it's another I think that's French. Don't
So
quote me on that.
That my drink that I'm drinking is green tea green.
3 different languages and just one one drink. Yes, that's what it sounds like.
My lads isn't downloading.
Oh my god. We're not doing lads while recording, bro.
No, but I'm trying to get it to download so I can have it when it's done, but it's not working.
I don't know how I feel about this tea. I got a new one to try.
What is it?
Lemon hibiscus.
I like lemon hibiscus.
It's not bad. So like it needed sugar and creamer. I always add sugar and creamer to my tea. But the reason I popped on so late, well, I told you like it needed like a software update real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was my computer or my phone that needed it, but one of them did.
Yeah.
But literally like the creamer didn't mix right, so like it was like not curdling, but like it needed to be strained. I needed to strain my tea. I know.
Was the creamer expired?
No, we just bought it like a week ago. And I just used it this morning in my coffee and it didn't do that shit.
I don't know.
I know, exactly. That's how I feel. I guess that's my tea is tea hates me right now because I haven't had it in a while.
My tea is that I had Sonic on vacation.
Oh, I had Sonic while you were on vacation too.
Yeah, but the closest Sonic to me is the one and that's like
gonna bleep that out.
Yeah, I say that every time we talk about Sonic.
No, it's the same one for me too. That's the thing. So it's like it's a drive because there's none near us.
It's a trek for me. It takes me like an hour and a half to get there.
Oh, I have other tea.
Okay.
So Marissa and I on Tuesday went to go see Chicago on tour.
Okay.
Deadass. We're like driving home, And she's like, I really need to find a gas station. It's 11 o'clock at night already, okay? And
Okay.
Wawa is the most expensive.
Yeah.
Dead ass. We're like driving, da 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 da. Oh, low gas alert. Da, 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 da. We'll find a gas station. We're fucking. Oh my god, it's dead ass. We just. All the gas stations except for Wawa were closed. And
So
then
you
we
had
just.
to go to Wawa.
In the end, with like 9 miles left.
That's crazy.
9 miles left. And I'm just like, bruh.
Imagine you got stranded.
I was so scared. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know.
Well,
I
because
feel like I don't.
we weren't gonna find a gas station in Philly.
No.
Because we were like in like the like city part, not like you know how like you can like drive through parts of Manhattan, but like other parts you don't even want to like touch it. We were in the driving through the parts you don't want to touch.
Oh, yeah, no.
So, yeah, that was. I mean, the show was great. The show, beautiful. But like, and Jackson apparently thought I meant Chicago the band and not Chicago the musical. And I was like, there's a band called Chicago?
There is, but I didn't think that they were still like an active band.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, is there an active one I don't know about? But no, I went to go see Broadway on tour. Because, yeah, even he was like, I didn't think that was your kind of music that you would like listen to. And I'm like,
what the fuck are you talking about?
What are you talking about? It's Broadway. Well, do you have any other tea you want to spill before we share stories? This cat?
My boyfriend's here.
I know, and he's probably going to pop in the middle of my story.
My boyfriend called me his fiance in a call yesterday with his friends. And I was like, who? And he was like, huh? And I was like, who? Who is that?
Deadass. That's like when I jokingly called Jackson's sister, like my sister-in-law, to my mom. And I was like, well, I gotta get along with my future sister-in-law. Like, and she was like, I'm sorry, you're what now?
The thing is that I was like, okay, well.
We all know within a year he's gonna propose.
Yeah, but I was like, why? Why are you saying that right now? But it was like, cutesy.
He was probably wanting to see your reaction, is what it was.
Probably. And I was like, really?
Like, is that what you think of me? No.
I was like, really? That's me? And he was like, yeah.
That's
and
me.
I was like, yay.
All right. I have a story for you today. Are you ready?
Wow.
I know, never would have guessed, right?
I didn't know that.
Nah, bro. It's story time. What category do you think I'm covering today?
Robbery.
Incorrect. We're doing murder.
I wanted to say murder, too.
So, murder! This is one you're going to be really confused of when I tell you the title. But I will quickly go over why it's called this. Don't worry.
Okay.
Today we are going to talk about the Lobster family.
What?
Like I said, it's literally the second bullet. Don't you worry.
Rock Lobster?
No, not the Rock Lobster.
Rock Lobster.
So before I begin this story, this takes place during a time where a lot of carnival acts were known as freak show acts. We very much do not really use that term anymore, as We do not call people freaks.
Yeah.
The reason they were called freak shows is because they were considered freaks of nature. Now these are just different people. We do not use that term. So if I mention that term, this is because we are in a different time period, and they themselves called themselves freak show performers. I think you're starting to understand why it's called that already.
Yeah.
So, Grady Stiles Jr. was born June 26, 1937, to Grady Stiles Sr. and Edna. He was the fourth child, and he was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Stiles family has a long history of a genetic condition known as ectrodactyly. So, their lineage of ectrodactyly goes as far back as 1840. So this is already like 100 years of this family having this condition. So ectrodactyly can also be known as split hand, cleft hand, or split foot malformation. It's basically the absence of one or more of the central digits of the hand or feet. They appear claw-like. So the lobster family.
Yeah.
They could also be fused instead of being absent. Basically, if they have that claw-like appearance, it is ectrodactyly. So, the family used this to their advantage rather than a disability where they couldn't really do anything, and became a family of performers known as the Lobster family throughout the 20th century. So, Grady Stiles Jr.'s condition was actually more severe than the rest of his family. Not only were his hands fused, his feet were fused too. He couldn't walk due to his feet being fused, so he used a wheelchair most of his life. He also learned to use his upper body to pull himself across the floor, so he still was like mobile enough and able to move around, but he couldn't walk on his feet, so a wheelchair became an aid to him. By age 7, he joined the family show, and he would later resent his career due to being ridiculed and harassed by people, and he turned to alcohol. This is where the story can start to go down. So Grady Stiles Jr. fell in love with another carnival worker, Mary Teresa, and they got married. She was considered normal due to the fact she had no deformities. She literally just worked in the carnival because she ran away as a teen and she didn't want to be with her family. So she had no deformities. So that's what they considered normal in a carnival act. And everyone else they considered freaks, which I hate. I hate that. I hate that term. I will always say that. So, as I said before, Grady Stiles Jr. would grow to resent the carny life and rely on alcohol to cope. He was already a pretty angry man, and the alcoholism would scare his family and many other people. Mary would actually end up leaving him and remarry later on. She actually married another performer. She remarried Harry Glenn Newman. Do you want to guess what his act was?
I don't know. Super tall.
Actually, the complete opposite. He was known as the smallest man in the world.
Oh, great.
So, other way.
I should have said the opposite.
So, Mary and Grady had 3 children, and 2 of them were born with ectrodactyly. They were added into the sideshows as well. So the 3 children were Grady Stiles III, Donna, and Kathy. So the abuse was very severe with multiple physical assaults. I'm going to give a quick trigger warning to this one. He supposedly ripped out his wife's IUD, which if
Ow.
if you do not know what an IUD is, it is basically something that gets inserted through your cervix, and it's just swimming in your uterus pretty much. to make sure you don't get pregnant. Yeah. He used his freaking claws to, like, rip it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate thinking about that line. Because I saw it in every article.
The question is, how do you even manage to, like, get it?
So, there's a string.
Well, yeah, but, like, entire hand just, like, up there?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have an entire hand. Remember that.
But there's still, like, circumference.
As long as he grabbed the string, he can pull.
Yes.
Yeah. So, the neighbors constantly heard screams. And he actually, remember how I said he could just, like, use his upper body to, like, move around and whatnot?
Yeah.
He got very strong from that. And he would use his upper body strength to throw himself on the floor and use his claws to choke, beat, and slam his wife and children.
Okay.
The skin and eyes were the main targets. Obviously, he did whatever he could out of anger. Yeah. On one occasion, Grady was attacking his wife, and his heavily pregnant daughter, Kathy, tried to intervene by rolling the wheelchair between the two, and that only enraged him more, and he beat her so badly that she went into early labor.
That's insane.
The baby thankfully survived, and so did Kathy.
Good.
And the baby was also born with ectrodactyly. Not that it really matters.
No.
Whether the baby has the deformity or not. By the time the kid would be old enough, there would be no more sideshow. So, by her late teens, the other daughter, Donna, fell in love with Jack Lane, yet her father did not approve. She didn't care about her father's opinion and wanted to marry him no matter what. She just wanted out from her father's control. She wanted out of the house. I don't blame her. So he threatened he would kill Jack if she went through with the wedding. And basically the family continued on with show life until September 1978. The events leading up to this crime aren't really known. It could be that Grady went to visit her fiance at his home, or he was invited over under the guise of giving him his blessing for the wedding the next day. But basically, Grady ended up at the fiance's house. And, well, they were going to go through with the wedding. But on September 28th, he shot Jack in cold blood on the evening of their wedding with his shotgun. Just in cold blood.
It's really unfortunate.
Oh, it's gonna get worse.
Perfect.
So this case very quickly went to trial. He pled guilty with no remorse. And yet he still avoided jail time for murder. He pointed out that no jail at the time could accommodate his disability, and it would be cruel and unusual punishment, which, yes, he is correct.
Yeah.
In the 70s, jails were barely equipped to deal with mental health. So imagine physical disabilities.
Yeah, but just getting away with murder because of that?
I know, I can't. He also had more medical needs, such as cirrhosis of the liver and emphysema, which were both brought on by his alcoholism. So he was put on house arrest for just a short period of time. I didn't get an exact time frame, but then another 15 years of probation. So at this time, at some point, he married another woman and then divorced her as well. And then somehow convinced Mary Teresa to remarry him in 1989.
That's crazy. How do you convince someone to remarry you when you act like that?
He was like, "Oh, I've changed, honey. Don't worry. I'm
They
so
never
much
change.
better." They never
They
change.
never change.
So he attempted to quit drinking, but very quickly relapsed, and so did the violence. So Mary Teresa actually had another son with Newman, Harry Glenn Newman Jr. He had no deformities. He was of average height. And his sideshow was driving nails and ice picks up his nose with a hammer. I wasn't going to have you guess that because you were not going to get it. I actually worked with someone who did an act like that.
I don't want to know.
At the Halloween festival I worked at last year. It was the show I helped out with.
That's so gross.
No, the thing that like got me the most was okay, so like it was a husband and wife duo kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the husband, he did the things with his nose and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like and his wife was a sword swallower. I wasn't grossed out by that stuff. I was fine with that. The thing that he did that grossed me out the most was he would hang things from his bottom eyelids.
Ew.
Like a Jack in the Box by his bottom. Like on chains. And I was just like, no, I can't. I have to do my job, but I can't watch
not
this.
The eyeballs.
I know. But no, I hate that act personally. But back to the story. I'm not gonna relive my old job trauma. So by 1992, Mary Teresa was tired of the abuse, and she was concerned about the welfare of herself and children, especially because there was another son in the house that she had with another man. She said, quote, "Something needs to be done," and gave her son Harry $1,500 to, quote, "bring things to a beneficial conclusion." Like, this is like 2 murder stories in one. I'm gonna tell you this now.
Okay.
So Harry paid Christopher Wyant to kill Grady, and Wyant was their neighbor and another carnival worker. He grabbed his gun and made his way to their trailer. Wyant looked through the window and watched Grady just watching TV in his underwear, feeling like, yeah, I avoided jail time. And he was probably drinking a beer or something. And basically, 2 shots to the head, which killed him instantly. And this was on November 29th, 1992.
Wow.
The weapon was a .32 Colt automatic. And they were very quickly convicted.
Understandable.
No one denied of their intent to kill him. Wyant was charged with second-degree murder and sentenced to 27 years in prison. Harry Glenn Newman Jr. was charged with first-degree murder because he was the planner, technically.
Yeah.
He was given life with the possibility of parole within 25 years, and he could have received a lesser sentence had he not hired a hitman and just done it himself. Which, that sounds terrible to say.
Just do it yourself, guys.
Like, come on.
Just do your own crimes.
Literally. I just realized how short this story was. Oh my god. I'm looking at, like, the timer and I'm like, you logged on before. This is like a 15-minute story. What the fuck?
It's okay. My story is, like, kind of short, too.
Oh shit, it's gonna be a short episode today. All right. Well, and then finally, Mary Teresa Stiles received sympathy from her long-term abuse. So she got a bit of a reduced charge, but she was still guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, as she gave her money to her son.
Yeah.
First-degree murder and manslaughter with a firearm. And she was sentenced to 12 years in prison, which means she's out by now. I don't know if she's still alive, actually. But that's the Lobster family.
Yay.
And I like to do, like, in media things when it comes to these stories. And what's the one show I always bring up, Corey?
Either American Horror Story.
American Horror Story, yep. Season 4, Freak Show. Evan Peters plays Jimmy Darling. I had to remember which character was from which season. He plays Jimmy Darling, the Lobster Boy, a boy born with ectrodactyly. He is just, it's just the condition that he is based off of. But they do kind of like talk about I know you're not going to watch it because this is the one with the clown and you will probably cry.
Yeah.
So they bring up the famous Toledo Lobster Clan, which is his father's family, because his father was actually born without the condition, just carried the gene. So his father was the freak of the Lobster Clan, pretty much, is what it was. To be born normal in a family, normal, I use that term lightly.
Yeah.
To be born without a deformity in a family full of people with that deformity. It was kind of sad, not gonna lie, but also he was a shit guy. His character was a piece of shit. So,
well, no sympathy then.
Exactly. Because basically the minute is when Jimmy finds out that Dale is his father. They show like, oh, what his mother's birth was like, or sorry, what his birth was like with his mother.
Mm-hmm.
He literally, people paid him to watch his mother give birth.
That's weird.
It's fucked up because they needed money, but like, that's not how you do it.
Yeah, no, that's really, I don't like that.
No, when I saw that scene for the first, I've watched American Horror Story so many freaking times because the earlier seasons made it my favorite show. The newer ones, but no, that scene really was just like, what the fuck is this guy doing? But yeah, that is the Lobster family.
Yay.
Not yay. Double murder at that point.
Woot.
Did you expect a double murder?
No. But it's okay.
The murderer was murdered. You never hear that.
The murderer was murdered. Except we do in jail.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm talking about by like a civilian. Not by law. Again?
I had tacos.
Again? Didn't
Yeah.
you have tacos in the last one we did?
I did. And I had tacos in the one before that.
When am I going to come over for another taco night, bitch?
Well, sorry.
I'm offended.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway.
I have to work on your freaking blanket squares.
Yeah.
So I am yet again crocheting while you share your story. Yeah. So I'm not as traumatized.
My story is not as short as yours, but it is like.
I was going to say,
long.
I didn't think it was that short, but it was short.
Okay. Well, anyway, obviously, we said I just got back vacation.
Oh, God. Are you doing something from San Antonio?
Well, not from San Antonio, but Texas.
Okay.
Before I went, I didn't realize that, like, Texas in general was, like, so tied to, like...
Oh, it's...
Like, because I didn't really care about Texas that much, to be honest. Like, I was just like, Texas is Texas. Fuck
Guys,
Texas.
Corey doesn't care about Texas.
I didn't. But I actually love Texas. Like, when we were there, I was like, the weather is so nice. Everything here is so nice. It looks so pretty. Like, there's so many stores. San Antonio is amazing. Like, I really did like it. Like, I was like, I would live here.
Well, I'm glad you liked it.
Okay, like I'd live here. I would live in Texas.
Are you sure about that?
Um,
I don't think Paul could.
actually, he was like, I don't care, because Texas has less humidity than here.
I was gonna say it's not as humid as like
Yeah.
here.
Sometimes you get like a lot of humidity, but for the most part, like there's barely any. So like when it says it's like gonna be like 65, the most it will feel is like 68. So like there's not a
Yeah.
lot of humidity. Like here, it can say that the temperature's gonna be 88 and it will feel like 102.
And I'll cry.
Like so the weather was a lot nicer to me in Texas.
Well, I'm glad.
But anyway, because I never really thought of like Texas in like the historical context or anything, I was like, there's probably nothing to look at in Texas. Bitch, I was
Wrong.
fucking wrong as shit.
Wrong.
But we're gonna discuss a location called the Victoria Black Swan Inn.
Oh.
And this property sits in northeast San Antonio, so it is San Antonio, but like towards the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Along the banks of Salado Creek. It isn't in the main city. Like it's tucked away in a little corner of its own. Which obviously it makes it feel a little isolated, private. It's
Yeah.
like away from the main city.
Mm-hmm.
So before any European settlement, we always start with the history.
Don't we always?
So before any European settlement, archaeological evidence suggests that Native American encampments dating back to like around 5000 BCE
I believe it.
were on that land.
I believe it.
Archaeologists often find evidence of repeated seasonal camps rather than permanent villages. So like people would
Interesting.
travel, and stay
Or they
there for like
migrated.
yeah. But it wasn't like really like a
No.
permanent place for Native Americans. It was kind of a place they would travel through. But the stuff that they find like on this land, they found stone tools, they found food remains such as different animal bones and
Oh.
plant processing. Like,
Interesting.
Native Americans were more advanced than you think. Like,
Oh yeah.
they had like very complex like plant processing like plants. Plant processing plants.
Plant processing plants, yes.
But like they found like those artifacts and they also found hearths and fire pits.
Huh. Interesting.
So almost the entire land, like I learned while I was there, almost the entire land of downtown San Antonio was Native American land before the settlements. And most of like downtown San Antonio, like where the Alamo is and everything, is Native American burial ground.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So archaeologists and construction workers would find bones that were DNA tested and like traced back to Native American tribes.
Damn.
But the fact that like almost all of San Antonio is Native American burial ground, not a good thing at all.
No.
Like you are not supposed to disturb the remains of individuals buried in any like culture, but like it's very emphasized in like Native American like customs and stuff. You do not touch that shit. You leave it where it is. You do
leave
not
it.
move it. You don't even dig up the dirt at all. You don't even
touch
look
that
at
shit.
it. But in order to build on that land, they would build like houses that had basements and buildings and stuff. So they had to disturb the final resting places of so many Native Americans, which alone, even if nothing else happened on that land, that alone is enough to cause
a terrible idea.
like bad energy. Like you're gonna have angry Native American spirits like hunting your ass. Like they're gonna be raining hell on you, basically.
Literally.
So that's the first bits of history. Now we skip forward quite a bit of time here. Not much happens until a lot of years later.
Okay.
When Texas was already starting to like be built up. So now we have some like, houses, businesses. There's civilization there that isn't Native American. So like we have European settlements, they built up stuff. So now Texas is a small frontier town, but the area was still mostly open land, a lot of ranches, um, and specifically for Victoria Black Swan Inn, it was on the edge of a creek. So like it was big land, a ranch, there was a creek right
Mm-hmm.
there, but Victoria Black Swan Inn is not built yet. But where it ends up is by a creek.
Gotcha.
So this next event is one of the most important events for the land that it's built on.
Oh, should
So,
I be worried?
um, eh. So
Okay.
we have the Battle of Salado Creek that occurred in 1842. So this was after Texas became independent in 1836, and Mexico never fully accepted the loss of Texas. So in 1842, Mexican forces launched raids into Texas under General Adrian Wall, and then Wall briefly occupied San Antonio. This is a whole history lesson.
Literally, I feel like
So
I'm back in our history teacher's class.
many Texas settlers fled from this area
I'm sure.
because of, a fear of a larger invasion, but the Texas militia groups began organizing some form of like resistance. So we have Mexico mad that Texas gained independence and now they're pushing into Texas.
Alrighty.
The Mexican army the Mexican army was led by General Adrian Wall, and it consisted of roughly 500 to 600 soldiers. It included cavalry, infantry, and artillery, and the militia already occupied San Antonio. So keep that in mind. San Antonio
Okay.
they have the high ground. Mexico has the advantage. The
Okay.
Texan militia was led by General Matthew Caldwell and other Allied volunteers, and it consisted of only around 150 to 200 men. Mexico had 600.
I was
They
gonna
had
say that doesn't
150
sound
to
like a lot.
200. They were known as Texas Rangers and local volunteers. So there was barely any military involved in this
Oh, I'm
on their
sure.
side. And they were obviously very outnumbered, but they were very, very motivated because this was their land. They just gained
Mm-hmm.
independence. They were like,
Yeah.
you're not going to take us back, bitch. Like, so the Texas forces ended up positioning themselves along the Salado Creek, and they used the natural cover, to hide from the many more soldiers that existed on Mexico's side. The Mexican troops attempted to engage and dislodge them. So there was a lot of rifles
Mm-hmm.
firing, cavalry movement on the open ground,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of blood.
Oh, I'm sure.
So Texans did hold their ground, um, and Mexican forces eventually withdrew away from San Antonio. So somehow they won.
Somehow.
And this was considered a Texan victory because Mexico retreated, but this was only part of like a major like war. So it was a
Mm-hmm.
small battle, but it did take place on the land. Um, the exact death count is unknown, but it is commonly reported between 50 to 60 soldiers. So not a lot, but like for the amount of soldiers that they had, that's a decent amount.
That is.
And a
It
lot,
doesn't sound like a lot, but
yeah. Many of the bodies were actually not recovered or properly
oh.
buried. So as we know, war causes a very strong violent death energy.
Oh, yes it is.
So you combine the violent deaths with the fact that a lot of them weren't even identified or properly buried, they're going to be angry.
Oh, yeah.
So the modern structure began after the Civil War. So in 1867, a Greek revival style home was constructed on the property. And this home was built by European immigrants, primarily German settlers. And the property functioned as a farm, a dairy operation, and a family home. They had cows and they were pumping out milk and
House?
selling it to people on this land. So
I wouldn't trust that milk.
it's gonna have like a ghost attached to it, the bottle.
Ooh, ghosty milk. Yummy.
So by the late 1800s, the early 1900s, this home remained largely rural and isolated, but multiple families had lived in it and died on the property.
Oh,
So
okay.
families who had lived on this land had very normal for the time deaths. So there wasn't any like super tragic deaths,
Mm-hmm.
but there was a lot of them. Like a lot of families lived and died there. So some of these deaths, would include infectious diseases such as tuberculosis, the flu, untreated infections. Women died of childbirth complications in the home. Children died during birth because of the low medical
Aw.
knowledge. And then there was also a lot of accidents on the farms that included horses, tools, wells, other machinery,
Damn.
farm accidents. And because the area was so far out from the small frontier area, there was a lack of medical access because, it was isolated, which
Mm-hmm.
caused things to be left untreated, get infected, and eventually lead to the death. So you have small occurrences, but they are repeated over many
Mm-hmm.
decades,
Yeah.
which, isn't great. So there is one specific story that I was able to find about this
Okay.
land. So there is a small story of a woman named Jolene Street who lived on the property. She's described as having experienced a sudden or tragic death. Her actual cause of death was very hard to find. I saw a couple different things, so I'll just list them.
Okay.
Um, it was either betrayal,
Oh?
like she killed
Like,
herself,
yeah.
or she got super, super sick. But then I also saw a source that said that she made herself super, super sick from the betrayal.
Okay. So,
So
could be none, all of the above, like.
yeah, her cause of death is unknown, but she did die. um,
I think that's the one thing we do know.
yeah. um, that's literally the only information about Jolene.
Damn.
Um, but there was another man who was associated with the property who died on site.
Ooh.
Um, he had a emotional breakdown and
Oh?
killed himself in a
Oh.
very not pleasant way.
I mean, is
The
it
only
ever?
the only information I could find about the manner of the suicide was it had to do with farm machinery.
I gotcha.
Yeah, it didn't say what machinery, but killing yourself with farm machinery in general is
Kind of
really
brutal?
brutal.
Yeah.
So, we don't need to know what it was. We just need to
Yeah, I'll
know
pass on that knowledge.
it was
I'm
kind of
good. I'm
gross.
good without knowing.
Yeah, so there was another suicide tied to the land from the grief of losing
Mm-hmm.
his wife during
Oh.
childbirth.
Oh.
Um, and then during the construction of the home, people died from falling off. There wasn't a lot of, regulations.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a variety of deaths. So now we have the Native American burial ground, the
Mm-hmm.
Battle of Salado Creek, multiple suicides, multiple illnesses, multiple childbirths, multiple children dying. Like
It's a
there's a lot of
lot.
there's a lot of deaths. Even if some of them are considered like small, there's still a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, in this current date, before I get into like the paranormal stuff, this current date, it is actually not open to the public.
Okay.
Um, it is used as you can rent it out, but it's by like events only. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
rent it, but you can't just go there to see it.
Gotcha.
And it's called the Victoria Black Swan Inn, but it's not actually an inn. Like you can't actually
Mm-hmm.
like just go there
Yeah.
and be like, "Hey, I want a room." Like that's not how it works. So they use it for wedding venues. You can have events and other parties there.
I don't
But
think I'd want to get married there.
no, it is a very beautiful house. Like if you see
Oh,
pictures of
I'm
it, it is
sure.
very beautiful.
But
But like,
knowing the history,
no, I would not want to get married there. If you don't know the history, then sure.
yeah.
but like I do, and I don't want to get married there.
Yeah, I'll pass.
But they also have artisan markets held there. They organize these, so they do hold artisan markets. You can go there. That's the only time that it is open to the public to just go there.
Gotcha.
But that's because they're holding an event.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can rent it out to do ghost tours and paranormal investigations, but it's really just dependent on how the staff is feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes they will tell you no. It is a very popular place to visit for Texans and tourists because you can go and like see you can stand outside of the big fence because now they obviously have a gate. You can stand outside of it and see the land, see the house. It's very pretty. So like people still go and see it, but you know, it's not a museum or anything of the sorts.
Mm-hmm.
But this place is considered one of the most haunted places in San Antonio. Despite this, being a smaller area, you have the 50, 60 soldiers died, all the normal deaths, Jolene, the man who died, we're having it all over here.
Definitely.
Yeah. So like the sheer number of people that died on this land, even if half of the deaths are not tragic,
Right.
it's still a very haunted place.
Literally.
So now we're going to jump into some of the activity that is reported at the Victoria Black Swan Inn.
Okay.
So there is an angry man entity that lurks around the building.
There always is.
See, this one I would associate with the war of some sort.
Okay.
Either the war or a Native American. I didn't think it was like one of the men that died of suicide, but
I hope not.
But it's a very angry man that lurks around the building. So he is seen in the main house interior, the hallways and the staircases, and near entryways. So basically you see him everywhere except inside of like bedrooms.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So people report feeling watched aggressively. So it's not just like there's a presence there, there's like a hostility. Like he's like wanting to hurt you.
Lovely.
They'll feel sudden drops in temperature when they enter a room, which, the room can just be colder.
Mm-hmm.
And disembodied male voices that yell commands at them, like get out or leave.
You better not be yelling at me, bitch. No. I'd be so mad if someone just yelled at me to leave.
Yeah. I'd be
I'd be
sad.
pissed.
So
be like, I paid to stay here.
Yeah, I'd be like, I paid for this fucking event.
Exactly. You get it. You get it.
He manifests as a shadow figure of a tall man. He is seen near doorways or hallway intersections, as I said, and he's described wearing old-fashioned or military-style clothing. So he is reactive, so that means he responds when people are present. Like, if you talk to him, he's gonna try and respond. He's very active.
Okay.
And like I just said, he is the most active during investigations. There is a little girl entity that is seen in the upstairs room, the backyard, and the lawn area. People claim to hear children's laughter when no children are present, running footsteps in empty hallways, beds appearing disturbed after rooms have been secured for the night, so they're locked up, no one can go in there. And toys or small objects are moved during investigations. People reportedly see a small figure in white or light-colored clothing, and she's sometimes seen standing still in the doorways, and then she just goes poof, gone.
Just like, boo, ah, bitch.
But unlike the angry man, this little girl is described as playful, curious. She's, appearing unexpectedly, so sometimes it makes people nervous, but they never get a bad energy.
Well,
She
that's
seems,
good, at least.
Yeah. There is no documented death of a little girl, though, so maybe it's just not documented. Sometimes documents were not good back then, but like there is no documented death of a little girl. That's just something to note. It could just not have been documented well.
That's what yeah.
But we don't know who this is. She is labeled as a residual child energy. She doesn't really, do much.
Mm-hmm.
She plays around like a kid. We have the lady in white.
Always.
She is seen in the gazebo or the garden area and by the tree line near the creek. She
Okay.
is a silent female figure in a long dress. She appears staring outward, but she does not engage with people. She will stare at you, but she won't talk. She won't try and move. She just
Damn.
stares. And
I
then
don't appreciate that.
and then when you start to approach her, she fades away.
Oh. Are we turning the lights on? Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
It was just a darkness.
Yeah, I needed to turn my light on. It was getting dark and my face was fading away.
You were a ghost.
I look like a freaking ghost with my skin color.
Oh my god.
But anyway, people claim to hear soft crying, sighs near windows, or an occasional whispered no. They'll just hear someone whisper
Oh.
no, whatever
Oh.
that means. So this is a grief imprint. She's often linked to the loss,
Mm-hmm.
waiting, unresolved emotional trauma.
Oh, I'm sure.
Then there's battlefield residue, you
Of
know,
course.
obviously the Battle of Salado Creek. People experience footsteps marching outside at night, distant shouting or commands in Spanish and English.
Damn, okay.
There's phantom movement from across the open ground, so things will move on their own out there. And there's different random cold pressure zones in the open field.
Okay.
Um, People sometimes report the smell of gunpowder or iron. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's a hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
And then they'll have sudden anxiety spikes that have no clear trigger. So, environmental imprint,
Mm-hmm.
there was a battle there. There's gonna be
Yeah.
people there. Oddly enough, they don't really do anything. They're echoes. They
Yeah.
replay the war. So
Makes
like
sense.
they're never really gonna talk to you. They're just replaying how they died. Um, so there are some various poltergeist-like activity. So this often occurs in the event rooms, the kitchen areas, or the bedrooms upstairs. And the reported activity include the doors opening and closing without any wind or air conditioning. Objects move between secured, locked, or guarded rooms. So like someone can be standing outside of one of the rooms and something will move from that room to another room.
I don't appreciate that.
Um, Chairs will shift their position from one side of the room to the other in these guarded rooms. The lights will flicker and there's no electrical cause. And piano
Okay.
or music notes will play when there is no source. Like
I
no
don't
one
like
could
it.
be like no one could have access to the piano room and then pianos will start playing and they will go into the room expecting to see someone and
Mm-hmm.
there's just no one sitting at the piano.
What if there's someone inside the piano? Did they check?
I don't know. I'm unsure. I can't answer that.
Listen, if it's a grand piano, a person can hide in one.
I don't think so because the rooms are guarded. So,
Mm, fair.
but the activity often increases when there are large groups to feed off of the energy of,
Mm-hmm.
or there's a lot of high energy, like during weddings.
Mm-hmm.
This is, more attention seeking.
Yeah.
Um, there are various shadow figures. I did mention the tall man, but besides the tall man, there's peripheral movement shadows, so they're seen out of the corner of your eye, and they disappear when you look at them directly. We've had a lot of those, and I've said that I don't really believe those.
Fair.
But there's static silhouettes as well, and they will stand still in the windows or the doorways. They don't interact with people, but when you approach, they'll move. and then vanish.
Gross.
There are environmental or sensory phenomena, and these include sudden temperature drops. I already said that. Some people will feel like they're touched lightly. Their hair will start to stand up all over their body for no reason. They'll feel a pressure in their chest, like they got shot through the chest. And then there's a lot of people feeling like they're watched. But it gets worse for some reason when you're near the stairs. So there's some form of entity that lingers by the stairs, and they feel like intensely watched by them. Like people feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
And then lights will dim, like I said, with no electrical failure. Like I said before, there have been numerous investigations here. You can like rent it out for investigations. So people do use EVPs. If you don't know what EVP stands for, it stands for electronic voice phenomena. So commonly reported in investigations, we have male shouting voices in aggressive tones. I would cry.
Yeah.
You have childlike whispers. Indistinct argument-like background noise. So it sounds like people are arguing, but you can't make out the words. Sometimes people say that it sounds like it's speaking another language, like Spanish or something. And then sometimes your name will be spoken to you.
Gross.
Um,
Why you know my name, bro?
EVPs do seem to be, I don't have a lot of examples listed here, but they do seem to be one of the most repeatable things that happen here. There's a lot of claims across the sources that I saw, which is why investigators do come back over and over. They want to get that activity. They want to have those experiences. This is a very like multi-layered haunting. There's a lot of different death types, a lot of different people. So there's a lot of stuff that happens there, but you never get the full effect unless you go see it.
Fair.
I want to go see it so bad now that I know that it exists, but like I'm not spending money to rent that shit out.
No, that's gonna be too much fucking money that we don't have.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I will get married there just so I can see how haunted it is. And then imagine
If you get married there, I'm not going.
And then the fucking tall shadow man decides that he wants to like
Exactly.
He's just me and Paul are standing at the altar and he's just like behind us.
He's like, I'm supposed to be up here, right? You guys asked me to be up here.
He's like, I'm your officiant. I will marry you.
Literally.
But yeah. My dad needs my help moving something.
All right, so should we sign off?
Yeah, I think we're pretty much done.
Boo. I wanted to talk to you afterwards, but I guess not. Okay. I can text you later.
You can wait a couple minutes. He just needs help moving.
No, I was gonna grab Sky for something. I'll just text you.
Okay.
All right. Social media.
Sorry.
What did I change the TikTok to? We finally were able to change it.
I'll look it up in a second. But our Instagram is Let's Spill the Tea Pod. Our Gmail is lstt.pod@gmail.com.
Yes.
TikTok is Let's Spill. Hold on.
It should be Let's Spill the Tea
It's Let's Spill the Tea .pod. Yeah. And then we have a link tree on all those. We're on Spotify, obviously. We're on YouTube.
Obviously, you're listening to us somehow. But yeah.
That's about it.
Did we spill that tea? It was very short tea.
We did spill that tea, even though it was short.
Well, we'll have long tea next week.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.